What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Joe, the Juggernaut, Joyce. Get this, Joyce states that he'd like to see Parker versus Dubois, then he'll fight the winner. And he went on to say, he said, I was thinking in round 10 that that's when Wilder would start to really look for shots, Joyce said. Parker hit him with some good overhand rights. He boxed really well, but with Wilder, there's always a split second where he can switch off, and he's there with his sniper scope, and somebody's going to get nailed, but that didn't happen. He says, I'm happy for Parker. He boxed really well, and it was a good fight. A gracious Joyce said, I'd like to see Parker versus Dubois, and then I'll fight the winner. Dubois definitely showed everyone that he's moved on from the questions about his heart. There's a lot more to him now. I think when he speaks, he's got the twinkle in his eye. Those are the words of Joyce. And let me counterpunch. I mean, for one, I think that Daniel Dubois was set to fight Parker. You know, now I don't know how true it is, but Dubois wanted to fight Jarrell Miller because Jarrell Miller was not as mobile. You know, word around the campfire is that Joseph Parker moved too much. So, you know, and Joseph Parker is probably, you know, a reminder of the Usyk fight. And let me tell you something about Usyk. A person that moves like that maneuvers like that has footwork like that, that's able to move like that because of the footwork, is a headache for anybody. And then, see, anything that's a headache or a hassle becomes a mental challenge. Okay, that's what was, I think a lot of that was bothering Daniel Dubois. He would get hit with punches that he didn't know that were coming. And shots like that affect you way more than shots you see that you can brace for impact for, because you see them, you're preparing for this incoming attack or assault. So with someone, bow, just catches you off guard. Yeah, it's a surprising shock to your everything, right? And I think that Daniel Dubois was supposed to fight Parker. So just because both of those guys have got past their, I guess, first term in the days of reckoning, right? The first day of reckoning, they were successful. I think that fight should happen. I do think that fight should happen, Parker versus Dubois. I would love to see that, because Dubois proved that he can box and move. He proved that, you know, he's a pretty good puncher. Joseph Parker proved that he's a world-class champion status of a fighter by beating Deontay Wilder. Now it's on to a newer or a younger guy this time, because, you know, Joseph Parker's only 31. Well, Daniel Dubois is, what, 26? So that being said, I think Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois should fight. Now, I also think, though, that Joyce would like to fight the winner of that. Like, what's really the point of that? You've beat them both already. Now, if Daniel Dubois wanted to fight Joyce, that's a totally different issue. That's a whole different story from Joyce wanting to fight Dubois. You've already beat Dubois. You've already stopped Joseph Parker. There's really nothing else. I mean, I would fancy a fight between Dubois just for Dubois to redeem himself, to show that, hey, I'm better than Joyce, and maybe Joyce being beat back to back, maybe on the bottom end of the momentum pole. You know, I could see that, but Joyce wanting to fight those two dudes instead of a fresh young challenge, I don't think that that's really warranted for him. But for Daniel Dubois, or for whoever really wins, if they want to take on Joyce, that's better, because they have been beaten by Joyce. Not Joyce wanting that fight, because Joe already beat him. So it's kind of pointless. Okay, what's the challenge of that? You've already done that. You've been there. You know, so I really don't see the relevance in that. You know what I mean? So, but I would like to see those guys fight. And if they decide to, okay, you know, and they want to call out Joyce, you know, okay, that's a totally different story, because them wanting to challenge Joyce is different from Joyce wanting to challenge them. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Joyce wanting the winner out of Joe Parker and Daniel Dubois. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace!